This is the Dallas Morning News. It's Friday, April 18th. A mix of sun and clouds today with a stiff breeze at times and a high of 87, turning mostly cloudy this evening with a chance of a thunderstorm. The low tonight will be 70. The weekend is looking wet. Saturday will be a bit humid with a chance of thunderstorms throughout the day. The high will be 81. Sunday will be cloudy with a chance of rain and possibly a thunderstorm through the early afternoon. The high will be 77. Turning clear Sunday evening with a low of 56. Here are today's headlines. The mother of a Frisco high school student accused of fatally stabbing a fellow athlete during a track meet earlier this month spoke publicly for the first time on Wednesday, describing how her family has been under attack by a wave of racist harassment, false accusations, and death threats. Her voice trembling, Kayla Hayes stood before a row of television cameras and bright lights at a news conference organized by the Next Generation Action Network, a Dallas-based civil rights nonprofit. She said her family's life had been upended since her eldest son, Carmelo Anthony, was arrested in connection with the death. The news conference marked the family's first public appearance and, according to the nonprofit's president, their last before the trial. It came only days after Anthony was released on bond. Hayes said they chose to speak out to underscore the personal toll the case has taken, confront falsehoods circulating about their family, and urged the public to allow her son due process under the law. On Thursday, a swatting call was made to an address linked to the family of Austin Metcalf, the Frisco teenager who was fatally stabbed. Frisco police said officers responded earlier in the evening to a gunshot call to an address involving Austin Metcalf's family. A police spokesperson said the call turned out to be false. Swatting is the act of making malicious hoax calls to authorities to draw a significant police response, often heavily armed SWAT teams. The swatting occurred hours after Jeff Metcalf, Austin's father, was barred from attending the news conference where the parents of Carmelo Anthony spoke publicly about the case for the first time. In other news, Dallas ISD officials said that the shooting at Wilmer-Hutchins High School that sent several students to the hospital might not have been preventable. Dallas ISD Police Chief Albert Martinez said at a news conference Thursday that all doors at the campus were locked and secured, meaning the door could not be opened from the outside, but could be opened from the inside, as fire code requires. This was a departure from the description provided earlier of an unsecured door. Officials said earlier this week that the shooter was allowed inside the Dallas school by a student through an unsecured door, and the shooter opened fire, wounding at least 4 of his peers and drawing renewed attention to the school district's security measures. 17-year-old Tracy Haynes Jr., a student at Wilmer-Hutchins, turned himself into police Thursday night. He faces an aggravated assault mass shooting charge. Haynes was held Wednesday in lieu of a $600,000 bond. It was not immediately clear whether he had an attorney. Next up, in a seismic shift for Texas education that could have ramifications for decades, the State House signed off on a plan early Thursday to allow parents to use state dollars to pay for their children's private school education. The historic vote, which followed a marathon day of deliberations, represents a major win for Governor Greg Abbott, who made school choice a top legislative priority, arguing families need financial help out of public schools that fail to meet their kids' needs. Abbott said in a news release, "This is an extraordinary victory for the thousands of parents who have advocated for more choices when it comes to the education of their children." But while the state's GOP majority celebrated the initial approval of education savings accounts, many public school families, teachers, and Democratic lawmakers mourned the looming policy they fear will funnel money out of the campus that serve the vast majority of Texas children. Representative Ron Reynolds, who opposed the bill, said, "This is un-Texan, this is unpatriotic, and this is un-American." Passage in the House, where similar bills had long faced fatal resistance, gives the bill a path to the governor's desk. The chamber voted 85 to 63, with all Democrats opposed. And the writing has been on the wall as the Dallas Mavericks move forward with their plans to build a basketball-only arena. Their 32-year partnership with the Dallas Stars, their roommates at American Airlines Center and Reunion Arena, appears to be nearing an end. The Mavericks and city officials have stated their desire to keep the NBA franchise in Dallas where they belong, as city manager Kimberly Beiser-Tolbert told the Dallas Morning News last month. But the commitment to the Stars by either the Mavericks or the city has not been publicly conveyed in the same manner. The Mavericks have been more public with their endeavors, starting with comments by Mark Cuban back in 2022 stating he wanted his team to one day play in the middle of a resort with a casino. More recently, CEO Rick Welts stated that his goal is identifying and securing a 30 to 50-acre site for an arena and full-blown entertainment district within 12 months. The Stars, on the other hand, have watched intently as the Mavericks proceeded without them, all while operating behind the scenes for about a year and strategizing their next steps without their NBA partner. Thanks for listening. For more on today's stories and the latest breaking news, visit dallasnews.com. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll be back on Monday with more from the Dallas Morning News.